I have loads of little molds that I've made that either they were just an experiment, like this one, tons of bubbles in it. It just didn't turn out the way I wanted. This was kind of just an experiment with alcohol inks. This one I messed up the top. This one I don't know what I was doing. So I just have loads of these little molds and I keep them. I don't throw them away. And they make great fillers if you're making a large mold. Like this Let's Resin turtle mold holds 13 ounces of resin. If you fill the cavity, you use less resin and you end up with something kind of cool. So why not use these pieces to fill the cavity? I use less resin. I use up my scraps. I end up with something kind of cool. So let's go and see what I can make. Okay, so I think I want to try using this one. This is an Into Resin, a crinkle heart mold, and I used a Let's Resin chameleon powder in it on the mold before I poured, and then I did a backing on it. I don't know if this will fit in here. I just think that would look kind of cool. Use that, and I don't know if I want to put anything else in it, if I just want to use that. I have had such a hard time with the eyes on this mold. I can barely see them. I can feel them with my finger, but I can barely see them. So it's not a matter of getting to it with my UV resin curing light. It's a matter of not being able to get to it with my fingers and actually see what I'm doing. But I'm going to give it a go. And I really like using these beads that I got on Temu. All right, so I need two sort of kind of matching. Let me see one that I like. Ooh, I like this one. I like that one. This one matches. So these are just beads on a string. And I cut the string apart. Ooh, I like that one. These kind of match. I think. Are they the right size? I think so. I like this color. Okay. And then getting them in there is another story. I just want to secure them so that when I pour the resin in, they don't fly around everywhere. I'm going to use the J Diction High Viscosity and show you what I'm going to do. Instead of pouring it directly in, because I can't get the nozzle in there without dripping everywhere, I'm just going to put a little bit on my mat. And it should be enough. Put a little bit on a toothpick and try to get it in there like that. I know you really can't see what I'm doing. But the eye is on the side. So you kind of want to be careful. And of course that resin right there is going to cure, but that's okay. A little bit more. Just a tad. This J Diction is nice and thick, so it's staying on the tip of my little cocktail skewer there. And see, I can feel the eye socket, so I know I've got it in there. All right, let's get this cured. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm going to use this. I wonder if that looks weird. That kind of looks weird, doesn't it? Let's see if I can cut this off. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. This is supposed to be like a pendant. There we go. Looks a little bit better. Okay. I like that. I think that would look cute. But I want to put some other things in here too. I'll put it up there. I'm going to use these glass beads that I've just, collected over the years. I've got them at thrift stores, and I'm going to use the ones that are completely solid. So they're the solid color. They're not see-through. These will get completely lost. Now, this one would not get completely lost, but I'm going to use these in another one. But the ones that are clear and they're translucent, they get completely lost in the resin. You see the color, but you don't see the shape. And I want to be able to see the shape in these. Just like that. And I'm thinking about using black. I don't know if I have a black one. What I got in this one? And it's pretty close to black. I think maybe the back feet. I'm going to put those in after I put the resin. Let's get 4. These are pretty close to black. Okay. And so the last time I did this, I did mix up half of the amount of resin because this holds 13 ounces of resin. So I mixed up 6 and it was still too much. So I'm going to mix up 4. And if I have resin left over, I can always make another mold. So I'm going to use the Bond Crafter casting resin and mix up 4 ounces. Use that in a minute. Okay. So one area that I've had issues with before has been the tail. I'm not getting resin down in his little tail. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if I just keep missing it or what, but I just keep making a tailless turtle. Oh, you know what? This is not enough. Look at that. I mixed up 4 ounces and it's not enough. So I should have gone with my gut and mixed up the 6, like I said. Nah. Actually, that may be okay. All right, let's make sure that I've got it in the head. I think so. Got all the air bubbles out. No air bubbles. Let's go ahead and put the beads in for the feet. Keeps wanting to pop out, doesn't it? That's not really going to work. It's not wanting to stay in there. Probably because the feet are really thin right there. So that may be why. Well, I'll just keep it in there. I'll just leave those in there. You're not going to be able to tell. You won't see these anyway because they blend into the heart. So I need something in here though. Let me show you. I don't want to mix up resin, any more resin. I don't want to do a back coat, but I need something in these legs and I need to fill these gaps. So instead, I want these in here. I'm going to let this cure. And then I'm going to add a back coat later on. And so it's basically, it's a top coat. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. That'll just help with cleanup later on. Yeah, I have plenty of space to do a back coat. Okay, let this cure and we will come back. This is the fluorescent green. It's really not fluorescent though. It's just a really pretty green. And I've thought about using some of the opaque pigments that they sent to me, but I really, really like this green, and you'll see in a minute. 4, 5, 6. So I'm adding 6 drops, and I know that seems a lot, but this is a lot of resin in here. Look how pretty that is. It's really like sea green. So to me, this is not a true green. To me, this is a sea green, like what you would find in the ocean. And I think that will be perfect for this turtle. Okay. And I'm just going to pour it straight in here. And just see how much we end up left over. And then we can see if we need to pour any into a little turtle mold, because I think this would be pretty in a little turtle mold. Let's just see. I really hope I got the tail this time. That's it. And got some left over. I'm just going to spray with alcohol. Just get those bubbles. Okay, so I'm going to move this over to my leveling table, which I have calibrated now on the other side of my studio somewhere. I'll move that later. Okay, so I've really been needing to make some turtles for some upcoming projects. And these are a little bit dirty, but not, I don't really care. That sounds awful, but I'm going to be using them in other projects. So I'm not going to be using them as is. So I really want to do this one. This is the Into Resin turtle. That is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I honestly do not care if there are bubbles in this resin. I am not scared of bubbles, because to me, that just looks like natural under the sea, if that makes sense. Move this one over here. Oh, lots left over, don't I? Trying not to overfill. I actually like bubbles for things like this. I don't get freaked out about it. Yeah, I have a lot left over. Still have some left over. This is the other Into Resin diamond mold, which is really cute too. I think I might have enough for that. Perfect. It's almost like I planned it. And then I have this left over, so what should I do with it? My goodness. How about a mermaid? I can always use these on projects. I'm always needing a little something. And I still have a tiny bit left over. I'm going to start this starfish. This is the Into Resin diamond mold. And this one's overfilled a little bit. So let's see if I can just empty it out a little bit. Now I don't have enough for the starfish. I know I don't have enough for the starfish. But maybe I can pour just enough. I'm going to wipe off my stick so I can use it again. And I want to see if I can clean up some of these. This one is overfilled. I just want to wipe these off. Makes cleanup a little bit easier, demolding a little bit easier. Okay. And now we wait. Okay. It is time. Move these aside. We'll do those later. First thing I want to comment on is the color of this back coat. It is absolutely perfect as far as a sea, like a sea glass green. This is why you don't overfill, because it's a little hard to get out, but I can trim that up. No worries. No worries. Oh my goodness. What have we got going on here? Did I get his tail? Yep. But I've got a little, it's the second time that's happened. I mean, I got his tail, but there's a little bubble right there at the edge. So there must be, I don't know, something going on with this mold. That's the second time I've had a little bubble right there. It's so weird. Okay. I even got I overfilled it so much I got the lettering on the mold. But that's okay, because we're going to trim that off. I've got my X-Acto knife. Just going to really gently trim it up. It's a new blade. I just put a new blade in it. You could use a deburring tool. I just don't have one, so I'm using my X-Acto knife. Little bubble there too. Just didn't get enough resin in there. Little bubble there. Oh my goodness. I messed up. I messed up. I messed up. Well, I mean, the edges are definitely not rough anymore, but look what I did. Big old boo-boo. Lots of bubbles there, but I actually am not upset at all about bubbles. I like bubbles, especially when it's a turtle and it's under the sea. But look at this. Oh my goodness. So my beads shifted a little bit. That's okay. That is okay. I absolutely am in love with this. Great way to use up my failed resin pieces. I'm not going to say fail. It's not fail. But I absolutely love it. Looks like I maybe didn't get the resin all the way into the tip. Could probably fill that in with some UV, maybe. But eye placement is okay. But I absolutely love this turtle. This one is going to be a big hit. I'm a little bit upset about his tail. I don't know what on earth is going on with the tail. I'm going to try to maybe fill that in with some UV. And I'm just going to use the J Diction, which is a high viscosity, so it's thick and it'll stay put. And that way it's not so noticeable. Perfect. So I could take a paint pen and outline the shell, maybe. I don't know what color. This is a paint marker pen. Just prime the tip, and I think this will work. Just gonna really just outline that groove. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a groove. So this mold is textured. It's got a groove in where the individual plates of the shell are. And so you feel it in the mold. And then when you demold, you have these little plates. And this is really very subtle. So this is a fine tip marker, and it is just a very, very subtle silver. I think that's going to be fine. Make sure I get the right groove there. Some of them are hard to see. Perfect. That is perfect. That is a perfect final touch. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I didn't get the eyes just right. That's okay. Um, I like the beads. I just wish they were a little bit more on the side. The placement is just a little off for me, but I can work on that. But let me know what you think. Oh, almost forgot. Let me pop this under the lamp one more time, just like that. I have all of our extras. So these are the Into Resin molds that I used for my extra resin. Little turtle. I love this mold. I absolutely love it. Look at how shimmery it is. So this is their handmade diamond mold. And this is their handmade diamond mold starfish. And I didn't fill it in all the way, which is okay. I just didn't have enough resin. But so the starfish is not as big as normal, but I can still use this either as a tree topper for my Christmas trees that I make at Christmas or something. I love it. It's very cute. And oh, this is the water ripple turtle from Into Resin. This is my favorite turtle mold. because I want you to see how cute it is. Look at that. Look how cute he is. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to use this inside of a bigger turtle, I think. Yeah, let's do these next. I'm always needing turtles. Always using these little turtles in various things. But they're easy to overfill. But you also don't want to underfill them. I don't know, it just doesn't seem like these molds are even. They're not level on the bottom. They're lopsided. So it's not that I overfilled them, they're just lopsided, which is kind of strange. But that's all right. So there are all of our extras, and then Miss Mermaid. I love these mermaid molds. Love, love, love her. So there we go. Our extra molds, and then Mr. Turtle. Let me know what you think. Make it a crafty day, friends. Bye. Bye. I see you.